Well, the Phillies score 5 unanswered runs en route to victory. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies Sound Show Media. Today we're going to cap in last night's game between the Phillies and the New York Mets as the Phillies defeat the Mets by a final score of 5-4. As we scored 5 unanswered runs in the bottom of the 8th inning as we grab a win here in the first game of this 3-game series. Now, guys, before getting into this video, please subscribe if you haven't not yet. Please hit the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. This video is also brought to you by All Things Phillies. All Things Phillies provides a daily video of highlights from the game. So please go subscribe to his channel, link in the description section. I also apologize for my voice not really being 100%. It's just allergy season. The allergies are, definitely bad up here, up north. The Phillies, man, this was a great win last night, ladies and gentlemen. The team looked flat up until that bottom of the 8th inning, and it all started with the Alec Bohm walk. JT with a clutch hit for once. This is not a clutch hitter, ladies and gentlemen. JT is not a clutch hitter, and boy, oh boy, did he look good on that one, right? That 2-run shot to put us in striking distance, and it's now down by 1 at that point. That clutch RBI double by Rhys Hoskins. Nick Castellanos busting home. Never seen him run so hard in my life. He was busting it, and Didi Gregorius also with a big clutch hit right there in about the 8th inning. So 5 unanswered runs as the Phillies grab a win here in the first game of this 3-game set, which is huge against this New York Mets team, right? I mean, thank God Buck Showalter had Taijuan Walker on a pitch limit, right? He's not 100% healthy, and also Ranger Suarez on a pitch limit. And I'm going to get to this a little bit, but Ranger Suarez, I don't think he looked as bad as you thought last night. I mean, he still was throwing the stuff he usually throws, but you know what? When your defense behind you doesn't make routine plays, when your defense behind you makes mental mistakes, when your defense behind you doesn't back you up, and doesn't get the fundamentally sound plays right, it can get in your head. It can set a tone for the rest of the game. And it can rattle you. You're out there, the guys are standing out there longer. I mean, so it sets a mentality. It sets a mentality in the game, and it's just not good, right? It's not good, and I think that those Alec Bohm errors, right? I mean, the 3 errors in 3 innings last night. We get to this a little bit. Breakdown video coming this afternoon talking about the comment that he made. Of course, the hammer had to be on him when he said it. But when your defense behind you does not make the fundamentally sound plays, it sets a tone. It puts more pressure on you. Those are supposed to be outs, and now you have guys on base, ducks on the pond, and it's more pressure. It was a rough season debut for him last night. There's no question about that. Even though he was throwing the stuff he usually throws, it wasn't as dominant as it was. But I think he was rattled, right? He just had a kind of an unlucky start last night. So pick up the scoring summary here. In the top of the first inning, Pete Alonso grounds out the third, and Brandon Nimmo comes around to score as New York now takes a 1-0 lead. So Pete Alonso, a guy that absolutely crushed a fly ball down the left field line last night that looked like a home run and just went foul. And of course, the umpires had a review to confirm that ball was foul. But he grounds the ball to third. Alec Bohm does make the play right there. Thankfully, right? Thankfully, of course, the run did score, but when you got the shore out at first, then we pick it up here in the same inning. New Met as Eduardo Escobar singles on a ground ball to right field. He was going the other way, right? He was hitting from the right-hand side of the batter's box. Pitcher 2 before. He had a line drive down the right field line and went foul. Then he hits this, sharply hit ground ball the other way. And Starling Marte speeds home and scores as the Mets now take a 2-0 lead. This is where the shift, of course, the infield is shifting more on the left side of the infield. I mean, when you see him line the ball down the right field line foul, I think that should be a sign. Hey, this guy can take it to all fields. Maybe we should go back to our original spots. And instead they don't do that. But it is what it is. Probably wouldn't have prevented anything anyway. Pick it up, same inning. Mark Hanna signals on a fly ball, a little dunker to right field that falls in. As I said, this was kind of an unlucky inning, right? That was not a hard hit ball at all. It just happened to find outfield grass. Do not blame that too much on Ranger Suarez. I mean, that was just an unlucky hit. I mean, sometimes you hit a line drive right to somebody, and then sometimes you hit a little pop that just somehow finds outfield grass. I don't know how, but so they all even out in a lot of ways. Eduardo Escobar comes around to score, as it's now 3-0 New York. So here you go, right here. I mean, the Mets have a commanding 3-0 lead here in the top of the first inning. It's not looking very good. This offense is coming off of a rough loss against the Oakland Athletics, where we lose 4-1. We just went totally flat on Sunday. I was not really feeling too good. And Taijuan Walker over there on the Mets is This stuff's either great or it's absolutely terrible. And last night it was great, but luckily he didn't stay in the game very long. Did have a pitch limit. Buck Showalter managed the Mets. I mean, didn't have him on a pitch limit. Thankfully, as we pick up the scoring summary here in the top of the 7th inning, as the Mets tack on another one. Of course, it was kind of a low-scoring affair so far. Francisco Lindor singles on a ground ball to right field, and James McCann comes around to score, as it's now 4-0 in New York. And Bryce Harper on the throw to home plate did tweak his arm a little bit. He was holding it like this. I was scared to death. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope to God Harper is okay. He ends up staying in the game, but he didn't do much last night. Of course, he did strike out 3 times. He did manage to draw a walk, but he didn't look very good last night. At this point, the offense has done nothing, right? The offense has done absolutely nothing. It's kind of, in the words of Jack Fritz van the Pod, feels like a loss. It just feels like a loss at this point of the ball game. I wasn't really too confident in this team at this point. So at 4-0 New York, then we pick it up here in the bottom of the 8th inning as Kyle Schwarber, first and third situation. He's not looking too good in this ball game so far, and then he hits a ground ball to second. They're able to get Juan Camargo, to force it second. But in the meantime, Alec Bohm was able to come around and score, and Kyle Schwarber was able to beat out the throws. The Phillies got on the board now, 4-1 ball game. So that ball wasn't hit especially hard, but it got the job done. So the Phillies got on the board. I mean, you're kind of like, I'm like, hey, I mean, I still don't think we're going to win this game, but hey, at least we've won the shutout. At least we get on the board. Pick it up here in the same inning. JT Realmuto with a clutch hit for once. For once, this is not a clutch hitter, ladies and gentlemen, but boy, this was a huge hit right here. He smoked this ball. Words of Phil Collins, I could kind of feel it in the air, right? I could just kind of feel it coming, even though he's not a clutch hitter, as he homers on a fly ball to left field way back there. That was just a no-doubter. A 2-run shutout to score Schwarber, and the Phillies now down by 1 now, 4-3 ball game. That's Realmuto's first home run of the season, a 2-run shot to put us in striking distance. So at that point, you fell home. At that point, you're like, okay, we're only down by 1. All we have to do is just go back and at least just tie the game, and then we have a good chance. So that was just huge. An electrifying moment. I think the fans throughout last night's ball game just were not in the game. Like, they just weren't really interested in the game. I mean, it was not exciting. It was not intriguing to watch. The Mets they were shutting us down. They were really just shutting us down. I think that JT Realmuto home run right there really got the crowd back in the game. I really think that got the crowd back in the game. So a 4-3 ball game. Then we pick it up here in the same inning. Rhys Hoskins doubles on a sharp line drive to left field, and Nick Castellanos speeding home as he scores. Not a very good throw, and Rhys Hoskins was fired up at second base as he should be. His second double of the season, a huge hit for the big fellow Rhys Hoskins. That was huge. He's looked good so far this year, no question about that. As the Phillies tie it at 4. That was electrifying. That was exciting. So a 4-4 tie. Then D.D. Gregorius. Yes, indeedy. Let's go. As he doubles on a sharp line trying to center field that falls in. Rhys Hoskins comes around to score from second as the Phillies now take the lead. Now a 5-4 ball game. So is D.D.'s first double of the season. A huge hit for D.D. right there. Probably the biggest hit he's had over the past 2 seasons since 2020. So there you have it. 5 unanswered runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. So that was huge. So 5-4, that'd be your final score. As Kyle Schwarber at leadoff spot does go hitless, but that was huge, right? That RBI ground out, I was able to score Alec Bohm. It didn't do much other than that as he strikes out 3 times. JT Realmuto, and it was a big one right there, 2-run shot to get us just down by 1, right? To get us back in the ball game for real. So that was a huge home run. I mean, that kind of changed the mentality of the game for the guys, too. I think that they kind of felt a different energy when, stuff like that happens. It changes his mentality. So that was huge. And Bryce Harper, not much out of him last night. Of course, he does K 3 times. Of course, he does manage to draw a walk. But there you go. Bryce Harper, not really doing much. Of course, he is hitting .071, and he has a 370 OPS. I mean, he's definitely off to a rocky start indeed. Only through the first 4 games of the season. It's important to bring that up. But I think it's very important to say this. Look at this team. Right, of course, Bryce Harper hasn't really been there this year. We managed to have a 3-1 record. Of course, we're in first place. It's only the 4th game of the season, though. You know what I mean? It doesn't really mean that much. But hey, we're still in first place. But guess what? Bryce Harper's production really hasn't been there. But guess what? Other guys are stepping up. We have more protection in the lineup. With Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos. Rhys Hoskins has stepped up huge. JJ Pinto stepped up last night. Didi Gregorius is the guy that had a really rough season last year with a lot of low expectations coming into this year. Really stepped up last night. So it's nice to have other guys stepping up and doing their job. It's really nice to have that. So that is huge. Nick Castellanos scoring the game-tying run on the Rhys Hoskins RBI double. Rhys Hoskins absolutely smoked that ball down the left field line. That ball was hit very hard. So that was Rhys's only hit of the game, but it was a big one, right? The game-tying RBI double. Huge. And Didi Gregorius collecting 2 knocks last night and the go-ahead RBI double to score Rhys Hoskins. I mean, the crowd was into it, right? I mean, that was huge. Not a very big crowd last night in South Philadelphia, but I mean, the crowd that was there definitely into that game at that time. Gene Segura also collecting a knock last night, gets picked off at first, which is just cannot happen. I mean, we're just making of course, we never were supposed to be good defensively, but we're making a lot of mistakes on the fundamental side. Like Alec Boehm, and they throw behind the runner, get him out. I mean, Gene Segura picked off at first base. These things have to stop happening. Alec Boehm looking like a deer in the headlights running between second and third when the ball sails into center field when he should be covering third. So these fundamental mistakes need to stop. They're the kind of mistakes that can cost you from winning ball games. But luckily last night, I mean, I just can't believe we won that game. I mean, it's just crazy. That was a huge come from behind win. Alec Boehm had that nice line drive double to center, and he draws 2 walks last night. So he had a good night on the offensive side, but he makes 3 errors in just 3 innings. I mean, that one ground ball, he kind of tripped while he was throwing, but you got to eat that, man. You have pretty much no chance of getting that guy, and he decides to throw it anyway. It goes all the way over. And then the other two, I mean, routine plays that any amateur baseman could just make. I mean, like, you're a professional baseball player. You just throw to first base on the line. No, he sails it over the head, and it goes to Rhys Hoskins' left. I mean, like, what's going on? And another throw, another routine play, Rhys Hoskins, saved it. Really did. He could have had 4 errors last night. The ball pretty much bounced in the dirt, and Rhys Hoskins did a great job at digging it out. Matt Vierling, he just continues to do nothing. I think this is going to be a thing where if he just doesn't step it up, for the first 4 games, he's done nothing. As they had to bring in Juan Camargo. I got a huge hit last night to also kind of jumpstart that inning to make it 1st and 3rd for Kyle Schwarber. So that was huge. And Ranger Suarez start last night, 2 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, all 3 were earned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. It was good last night, as I said. He did get a little unlucky there. He didn't allow a ton of solid contact. The defense certainly didn't help. Looked very rattled by the sloppy defense. This is the thing, man. Not only is sloppy defense bad, but it rattles your pitcher. It really rattles your pitcher. And that's why it's so important to play good, solid defense. I was a little bit disappointed with him. Nick Nelson was a savior last night. 4 innings, only allowing 1 run. That was huge, man. That was just huge. I need a tremendous amount of respect for Nick Nelson after last night's ball game. Honestly, he didn't even allow the RBI single indoor. Of course, that was allowed by Dominguez, but the only reason why it was charged to Nick Nelson because the runner was allowed by Nick Nelson. It wasn't even, of course, it was a charged run, but of course he wasn't on the mound when Lindor had that RBI single. And Brad Hand, I love him, man. We have 2 closers on this team, and Knebel and Hand. When Knebel needs some rest, guess what? We have Brad Hand. I love it. I honestly, this bullpen is a little underrated. It is. I think this bullpen could be very solid. It's a huge save right there. So a 1, 2, 3. Top of the 9th inning to get a Phillies win. The first game of the series, I apologize, my voice is just not really 100%. My voice was pretty much raspy the entire video. I have to keep stopping and coughing. Of course, you're not seeing that because I just keep cutting it out, but I'm definitely not, feeling too good with the allergies. The allergies definitely are high right now. So a 5-4 Phillies win, huge. Of course, I'm going to be breaking down the Alec Boehm comments, talk about that this afternoon. My first and ever breakdown video, John Boy style. So he first win of the series right there, huge win against the New York Mets as we now are in sole possession of first place, of course, for the first 4 games of the season. We go on the mound for New York tonight. 1-0, and he is not allowed to run this year. And Zach Wheeler making his season debut against his former squad. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section at Phillies Hats Media, Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at Piazza Media. Call or text 267-225-3292. Email me phillieshatsmedia@gmail.com. So guys, thanks for watching. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. I apologize for the the sore throat, this scratchy voice. McGill and Wheeler. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. 6:45 tonight. I'll see you guys.